Hey everybody, it's Murgle, and today I thought it'd be fun to make a video talking about the best and worst things of every expansion. I'm gonna make a video for each expansion if you guys like this. I just thought it'd be fun to do, and of course a lot of this will be opinionated, okay? You could fully well disagree with everything that I say, and that's perfectly fine, but I'm trying to go from an unbiased point and just see what the community says. Like, I browsed the forums and just everything where people were talking about it, because I wanted to see what mostly people agreed on at why they think it's so great. And of course, again, I have my own opinion, but I'm trying to keep that out of it. I'm just going with what people said. So, first up would be good old Vanilla WoW. Now, obviously, Vanilla isn't an expansion, but it was the first game in the series, so it's got to have its score brought up in here, of course. But what made Vanilla WoW so great? When you ask almost anyone who played then, including myself, they're gonna tell you that Vanilla WoW was so amazing, and that you guys don't know what you're talking about. This game is so bad now. That's pretty much what happens when you talk about Vanilla WoW. But seriously though, what was the best thing about Vanilla? And it seems like the overall agreement is the thing that made Vanilla WoW so great was the sense of wonder, the freshness, the fact that at the time it was honestly one of the best games out there. There wasn't really a lot of competition. It had really good graphics, and just overall it was a really good game for that time period. And when you played, everything was new. You were amazed by the epic stories or the epic quests, or just about everything about the game was new, so it was great. You couldn't believe how, awesome this game was. And everything took it hooked in every player. Everything took you in. It was just overwhelming almost. And when you were playing the game, another thing that seems to be a hugely real is the fact that everything took time. It took you months to do anything. You were grinding for ages. Everything just felt very long, but rewarding, right? So everything you did, it felt like you earned it through hard work. It didn't feel like in any way it was handed to you. And the argument, that people say is, when you say the game's easy now, if somebody says the game is easy now, they look you up and they say, well, why don't you have Mythic kill Jaden killed, obviously? If you're saying the game is easy now, why haven't you done XX thing? And it wasn't, when those people are talking, it's not that they're saying the game is necessarily easy now, rather that it's changed so fundamentally that the aspects that people enjoyed are too easy now. So when you level up, it obviously took a long time to get from level 1 to 60. You're talking months on end if you were a fresh character. You had no idea how to level efficiently and stuff. And even the fastest player ever, it took him like 4 days of gameplay. And it's just that. Everything takes a long time back then. So when you're saying it's easy now, it's not necessarily saying that every aspect of the game is easy. Just the leveling process is quite easy. You can chain pull, almost no risk of dying. You can solo quests that would have taken like 5 to 10 players back in the day. And that's what I think the term easy is when they say in the leveling process. They say it's so much easier now. That's probably what it's referring to. So that was it. One of the things that apparently was appreciated so well among the community was the sense of accomplishment. Everything you did took a very long time. And you felt like you were actually doing something great. You were an adventurer. Wonder and excitement await you. But a good example of this, and it seems to be like one of the fondest things in the community, is when you finally got to level 40 after 3 months, you could finally get on your mount. And it was really great when you finally hit level 55 and you could afford to use your mount that you got at 40. So that was it, really. Like, it just took long times to do anything, and this seems to be what a lot of everybody seems to agree is what they appreciated about the game. Again, you could completely disagree with that. Maybe you hated the fact that it took ages to level and stuff, but I don't know. Again, I'm trying to keep my opinion out of this, and I'm just going by what I've read and seen from the community. And as for the worst things about vanilla, well, any vanilla diehard would probably find a reason to argue that there is no flaw in vanilla, but of course that isn't true. There's flaws in every game. There's flaws in every expac. Everything's got its problems, right? And from what I see, one of the things that is agreed on the most in vanilla was the issue of imbalance in the game. There was no real balance to the style of game, right? When it came to PvP, let's say you were a warrior, you're pretty much gonna sit there and die if a mage freezes you. He's gonna frost nova you, and then he's gonna palm pyro you to the face, and you're just dead. You're standing there waiting to die. You've accepted your fate at this point. There's literally nothing you can do to save yourself. So, the game is very imbalanced. Naked rogues could kill you. There's lots of videos of PvPers that were naked as a rogue, and they would wear the level 1 dagger and just kill you for the sake of it, because the way scaling worked in the game was very imbalanced. Like at level 60, you know, you could still be powerful without wearing any gear, in a sense. You know, you were strong, sort of. Very imbalanced, and that's just the PvP factor. When it came to imbalance in PvE, there was a class identity imbalance, okay? If you were a warrior, you were tanking. If you were a paladin, just kidding, you're a healadin. There wasn't many people that went outside the norms. Priest was a healer, druid was a healer. You were stuck in pretty much one role. And it's not to say that there wasn't exceptions to that rule. I know a person that was a bear tank, right? And it's all he wanted to do, and he bear tanked. And he did even manage to get into a raiding guild as a bear tank. There were exceptions to the rule, but very, very, very few exceptions, because they just expected certain classes to play certain roles if you ever wanted to progress. So, that was one of the problems that a lot of people saw with vanilla, is there was no identity. Really, you were one role for your spec, for your class. So that was one of the biggest things. But that being said, there are plenty of other bests and worsts which could be related to good old vanilla. It is by far, of all the games, expacs, whatever you want to call them, vanilla is one of them that people say we look at the most with rose-tinted goggles, which the term rose-tinted goggles, it says you refuse to see all the bad things about the game. And they're stating that basically assumed that the game was so good because of that. You're refusing to see anything bad with it. And that in no way you could find it to be a superior game, because they have improved the game, so how could you possibly enjoy the idea of playing vanilla? And I don't really agree or disagree with this statement. Obviously, a lot of people do see it with rose-tinted goggles. But that being said, there are a lot of vanilla private servers, and a lot of them pull a very large following. We're talking, I think, probably at least 1 million players probably play vanilla private servers. It's a very, very large following. And who really knows if Blizzard will ever decide to make their own sponsored vanilla servers. I think if they did, the following would even increase, because it'd feel like new content, right? Even if it wasn't. And just people would want to try and see what vanilla was actually like. But I do think the following would be rather large. Again, trying to stay unbiased though, so only time will really tell what Blizzard decides to do. But if you like this video, let me know, because I thought it was fun to make. It's just nice to see what the community... I loved reading all the comments and stuff. It was really interesting. I browsed for a couple hours just going through massive amounts of forums about people talking about the game and just seeing what they thought. But anyways, I hope to make a video like this about every expac if you enjoyed it. So thank you for watching. Hope to see you again real soon. Bye-bye.